Super Smash Bros. Was released in 1999 for the Nintendo 64. The concept, at the time, was completely revolutionary. The story goes that Masahiro Sakurai was looking for a new and innovative project to start work on next. He was in an arcade playing King of Fighters when he went up against a very inexperienced opponent. He completely demolished his opponent, only to realise that it was a young couple who had popped into the arcade to try out some new games. He felt super terrible about it, but he realised that the game itself didn't really do the couple any favours. The game didn't tell them any of its mechanics or any of its key strategies, and it instantly faced them up against an expert opponent. So Sakurai came up with an idea for a new type of fighting game. A fighting game where the skill floor would be lowered and a super skilled player would have a bit of a harder time demolishing a weaker opponent. He figured that being completely locked in hit stun wasn't very much fun. So how about the more damage you've taken, the further you're knocked away from your opponent so they can't just sit on top of you. This almost completely prevents players from just sitting on top of you and comboing you to death. Mostly. And instead of a health bar that depletes to 0, maybe you could have a health bar that ticks upwards and your knockback increases the higher the damage number is. With these two things in mind, the final step seemed obvious. If you can't kill someone by depleting their health bar, then you kill them by knocking them off the arena sumo style instead. And a simple concept with an immaculate execution gave birth to Super Smash Bros. About 2.5 years after the release of Smash Bros., Sakurai and his team released a new Smash Bros. Game, Super Smash Bros. The game was made with the exact same goal in mind. Not a crushing competitive fighting game that leaves the player stranded, but a fun party game that anyone can enjoy, regardless of their skill level. But despite that, Melee became one of the biggest competitive fighting games out there. How this happened is a big story all of itself. I've slightly touched upon it in other videos, but maybe I'll talk about it in a future video. This video is about how Melee's competitive success, and the Smash series as a whole's casual success, has spawned a whole new genre of games trying to find a way to capture the lightning in a bottle that Sakurai created. The platform fighter. Wait, no, stop. We'll get to you later. We're talking about other games first. Shut up, we've talked about you enough. Icons Combat Arena was a game made by Wave Dash Games that came out in 2018. You can sort of tell from the name of the company that made the game that they were really after that whole competitive platform fighter thing. Icons sort of suffered from an issue that can only really come about when trying to imitate a game franchise that you love. Icons was trying to be like a free online version of Melee, but it ended up being a bit too much like Melee. Some of the characters had literal exact copied movesets from Melee's Marth, Fox, and Ganondorf. Some of the characters had unique original things going on, but most of them didn't. So when you're trying to capture the audience that loves Smash Bros. Melee already, the question for those players becomes, why play Icons, which is trying really hard to imitate Melee, when I can just play the real thing? If you use an emulator, Melee can be played for free, online, on your PC. With the release of Slippy, Melee now had built-in matchmaking and rollback netcode, so Icons struggled to keep any relevancy when the game it was so closely trying to imitate became more and more easily playable than ever before. The next thing we're going to talk about is Project M. Project M is not technically a standalone game, it's a mod for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But Project M was an excellent contender to the main Smash Bros. Franchise. When Smash Bros. Brawl released, a lot of the hardcore Melee players were disappointed to see that wave dashing and L cancelling had been removed, two of the techniques that made Melee so fast-paced. So the new, bigger roster and fancier graphics were wasted on a game that had been forcefully pushed back into much more of a casual state. So most hardcore players just stuck to Melee, but a small group of developers went on to create Project M, a mod for Brawl that made a bunch of changes to make the game more competitive, most notably re-adding wave dashing and L cancelling. Project M was, and still is, a pretty big success. Unfortunately, the developers had to cease development of the mod at the end of 2015, allegedly due to an unconfirmed legal threat from Nintendo. But despite that, the game still remains popular today. It's similar to Melee, with all of the famous faces that are in Brawl's roster, but it still has the competitive edge that the original Brawl didn't have. So what else we got? PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Oh, God. Couldn't even say that with a straight face, could I? Slap City! Slap City is made by a company called Ludosity. I'd actually heard of this company before after playing a game called Card City Nights, which is like a single player deck building sort of game. It's really good, I'd recommend it. And a lot of the characters and iconography from their card game is also featured in Slap City. Slap City has, in my opinion, the perfect balance between casual fun and competitive integrity. The game still has excellent combos and is very fast paced if you want it to be, since it has wave dashing, and we all know that every good game ever made has to have wave dashing. But while it does have that fast competitive streak, it also has a giant bodybuilder platypus called Ultra Fish Bungin 3000 who throws dumbbells at you and flexes when he does smash attacks. It's the best game ever made. Brawlhalla is the most unique game on our list so far. It's taken the platform fighter formula and added some interesting twists to it. Every character, instead of having a ton of different moves, just has different weapons. You start out the round bare-handed, and then these weapons will fall from the sky. Using them gives you one of the two available weapons for that character at random. Each weapon has its own set of moves, and each character has specific signature moves with each weapon. This means that multiple characters across the roster will have some familiarity to you, as long as you learn how one or two of the weapons actually work, instead of learning an entire character individually one at a time. The game is also quite floaty in comparison to other platform fighters. Characters have a number of air jumps and wall jumps that can be refreshed very easily. The combos are flashy and there's lots of airborne combat. The competitive scene is doing fairly well, and as a casual game, it's top notch. But for our last example, we've got to talk about my personal favourite. It's the one I have the most experience with, and it's the one that I truly think has the best chance to truly rival... I'm talking about Rivals of Aether! Wait, stop. The calmer music, please. Thank you. Unlike some of the other games we've discussed, Rivals of Aether is not for casuals. It is very dead set on targeting the competitive audience. It is a platform fighter, so by its very nature, it will probably be more fun for casuals than any Street Fighter or King of Fighters could possibly be, but it's still aiming for that competitive niche that Melee captured so well. It has extremely clean movement, you can wave dash so it's already the best game ever made, the combos are flashy, and the character design for each and every character is genius. Every character is so different from every other character that you will really have to build your entire playstyle around the kit of the one character you're playing. Orcane is the only character that can zone and teleport in this exact way. Absa's offstage tricky movement is unmatched by any other character. Rasta can only use his smash attacks while airborne, meaning his most reliable kill options have to be landed in the air, forcing him to combo you up into the sky instead of just along the ground. The character design forces you to use their kits creatively and to play super differently depending on which character you play. The characters are unique and different not only from each other, but from every other platform fighter character on the market, which to me is what makes this game so exciting. It maintains that competitive streak while also adding creative gimmicks that the characters' kits operate around, forcing you to play like no other fighting game would ever force you to play. And there's 4 more characters coming to the roster soon, all with their own crazy ass mechanics to figure out. Rivals has one of the biggest competitive scenes out of any of the platform fighters that isn't a part of the main Smash Bros franchise, and with the tease of Rivals of Aether 2 coming around the corner, this game is definitely one to watch. Back in the day, every first-person shooter that got released was cynically titled a Doom clone, and Smash Clone is a similarly cynical title for all of these games too. Some of them feel a lot more like clones than others, but luckily for us, the term platform fighter is becoming much more popular than Smash Clone ever was. The genre that Sakurai invented all of those years ago deserves all of the love that it's currently getting, and hopefully in the future we get even more unique games that really push the boat out like these ones have. Thanks for watching.